You're not failing at trying to have a heart-to-heart talk with a narcissist because you have weak communication skills. Here's the real reason why. Narcissists don't do conversations. They do power plays. What should be a simple discussion turns into a battle where they twist your words, shift blame, and leave you questioning reality. Narcissists don't argue to resolve things. They argue to win. Today we'll uncover the 10 ways how narcissistic abuse turns everyday conversations into battles. Are you ready for number 1? Gaslighting. Gaslighting is one of the most insidious tactics of narcissistic abuse because it makes you question your reality. One moment, you're sure of what happened, and the next, you're scrambling to remember details as they confidently deny everything. They might say something hurtful, and when you call them out, they respond with, "I never said that. You're making things up." Over time, this constant distortion of reality erodes your confidence. Robin Stern, author of The Gaslight Effect, explains that gaslighting works because the victim starts to trust the manipulator's version of reality over their own. What makes gaslighting so dangerous is that it doesn't happen in one dramatic moment. It's a steady drip of confusion that leaves you feeling lost. Narcissists thrive on control, and if they can rewrite your memories, they can rewrite you. But here's the truth. If you feel like you're constantly second-guessing your reality, it's not because you're forgetful. It's because someone is making you doubt what you already know to be true. Let's talk about number 2. Deflection. Craig Malkin, author of Rethinking Narcissism, explains that narcissists use deflection to protect their fragile egos. Taking accountability feels like a personal attack to them, so they redirect the blame onto you to regain control of the conversation. Deflection is the narcissist's favorite escape hatch. The moment you bring up a valid concern, they flip the script. Instead of taking responsibility, they suddenly remind you of something you did wrong 6 months ago. Now, instead of addressing their actions, you're stuck defending yourself. Over time, this turns every discussion into a battlefield where you're always on the defensive. Les Carter, a psychologist specializing in narcissistic abuse, calls this conflict hijacking, where a narcissist derails discussions so they never have to take responsibility. But here's the hard truth. If every conversation about their behavior somehow turns into an attack on you, you're not in a healthy discussion. You're in a psychological chess match where they refuse to lose. Let's move on to number 3. Blame shifting. Craig Malkin, in Rethinking Narcissism, warns that narcissists rely on blame shifting to keep control. No matter what the issue is, the narcissist finds a way to make it your fault. You catch them lying, and suddenly they're mad at you for snooping. Instead of taking responsibility, they twist the situation until you're the one feeling guilty. Narcissists can't stand being wrong. So rather than owning up to their actions, they rewrite reality to make you the villain. Over time, this makes every conversation feel like a battle you can't win. No matter how carefully you choose your words, they find a way to turn things against you. You start questioning yourself, wondering if maybe you are the problem. And that's exactly what they want. But here's the truth. Healthy people own their mistakes. They don't rewrite history to avoid them. Now, let's continue to number 4. Stonewalling. Stonewalling is when a narcissist shuts down, refuses to engage, and leaves you talking to what feels like a brick wall. You try to have a simple discussion, but they act like they don't hear you, stare at their phone, or give you nothing but one-word answers. Other times, they hit you with the dreaded silent treatment, punishing you by completely withdrawing until you apologize, even if you did nothing wrong. John Gottman, a renowned psychologist who studies relationship dynamics, explains that stonewalling isn't just avoiding conflict. It's a way to control the conversation by refusing to participate. And that's what makes it so toxic. It's not about resolving anything, it's about making you feel powerless. The longer this goes on, the more desperate you become to get through to them. You repeat yourself, raise your voice, or over-explain, hoping they'll finally respond. Therapist Lindsay Gibson, author of Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents, explains that narcissists use stonewalling to shift the blame onto you, making you seem like the crazy one for pushing them to communicate. Over time, you start walking on eggshells, afraid to bring up issues because you know they'll just shut you out. But here's the truth. A healthy conversation requires two people. If someone constantly refuses to meet you halfway, they're not avoiding drama, they're creating it. You shouldn't miss number 5. Projection. Isn't it funny how the person calling you toxic is usually the one poisoning the conversation? That's the twisted magic of projection. When a narcissist accuses you of the very things they're guilty of. If they lie, they call you dishonest. If they manipulate, suddenly you're the controlling one. It's a psychological game designed to put you on the defensive while they escape accountability. George Simon, author of In Sheep's Clothing, explains that narcissists project their flaws onto others because admitting fault would shatter their carefully crafted self-image. Instead of facing their behavior, they dump it onto you, forcing you to explain yourself for something you never even did. And just like that, the conversation shifts from holding them accountable to clearing your name. The worst part is that you start questioning yourself. Maybe you were being too sensitive. Maybe you did overreact. That's the trap. But here's the truth. If someone always accuses you of what they are doing, it's not because they see it in you. It's because they can't face it in themselves. Are you still up for number 6? Triangulation. Triangulation feels like you're arguing with a whole jury instead of just one person. It's when a narcissist drags other people into your private conversations to make you feel outnumbered and powerless. Instead of resolving an issue directly with you, they'll say things like, "Even my friends think you're overreacting," or "Everyone agrees that you're the problem." By doing this, they create the illusion that you're the irrational one, while they're the reasonable victim. Dr. Ramani Durvasula, a clinical psychologist and expert on narcissistic abuse, explains that triangulation works because it triggers self-doubt and isolation. The more you believe others are siding against you, the more likely you are to back down, even when you're right. Over time, this turns every disagreement into a battle for public approval, rather than an honest conversation. You start feeling paranoid, wondering who's been told what, and whether people secretly view you as the villain. And that's exactly what the narcissist wants. The more uncertain you become, the more control the narcissist gains. But here's the truth. If someone constantly needs an imaginary audience to validate their behavior, it's not because they're right. It's because they know they can't stand on their own. Let's keep it moving to number 7. Mockery and sarcasm. Oh, come on, can't you take a joke? That's the classic response when a narcissist uses mockery and sarcasm to shut you down. Instead of addressing your feelings with respect, they roll their eyes, smirk, or hit you with a cutting remark disguised as humor. If you express hurt, they make you feel ridiculous for even bringing it up. Wow, you're so sensitive. Or relax, it's not that deep. The goal isn't just to dismiss you. It's to make you doubt whether your emotions are even valid. Susan Forward, author of Emotional Blackmail, explains that sarcasm and belittling humor are common manipulation tactics used to control others by making them feel small. Over time, this erodes your self-confidence, making you hesitant to speak up in the future. At first, you might try to laugh it off or tell yourself you're overreacting, but deep down, you feel the sting. You start second-guessing whether your concerns are real or if you're just too sensitive like they claim. And that's the trap. If they can make you feel foolish for speaking up, they can keep dismissing your feelings without consequence. But here's the truth. Respect isn't something you should have to beg for. If someone constantly hides cruelty behind sarcasm, it's not humor, it's emotional warfare. Here comes number 8. Moving the goalposts. Have you ever played a game where the rules kept changing just to make sure you never won? That's precisely what happens when a narcissist moves the goalposts. No matter how much effort you put in, they shift their expectations at the last second, making it impossible for you to succeed. You apologize, change your behavior, or try to meet their demands, only for them to say, "That's not enough," or "That's not really what I wanted." The finish line is always just out of reach. As therapist Shahida Arabi puts it, in Power, Surviving and Thriving After Narcissistic Abuse, with narcissists, the standards are always changing, and no matter what you do, you'll never be enough, because the goal was never to let you win. If you never feel like you're good enough, they keep you stuck in a cycle of trying harder while they sit back and pull the strings. Over time, this turns every conversation into an exhausting mind game. One day, they say they want honesty, but when you're honest, they accuse you of being rude. They claim to want space, but when you give it to them, they call you distant. The goal isn't to find a solution, it's to keep you jumping through hoops. The only way to break free is to stop playing their rigged game and start setting your own rules. Moving on to number 9, guilt tripping. Harriet B. Breaker, author of Who's Pulling Your Strings, explains that guilt tripping is a form of emotional manipulation designed to control you by making you feel indebted. Instead of listening to your concerns, the narcissist plays the victim, making you feel like you've done something wrong just for speaking up. That's how guilt tripping works. It turns your reasonable concerns into proof that you're ungrateful, selfish, or even cruel. The moment you express frustration or set a boundary, they hit you with, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me." Suddenly, the conversation shifts from addressing your needs to defending yourself against accusations of being unkind or unappreciative. Over time, you start walking on eggshells, fearing that any disagreement will turn into another lecture about how much they've sacrificed for you. Susan Forward, in Emotional Blackmail, warns that narcissists use guilt as a weapon to keep you compliant, because if you feel guilty enough, you'll stop standing up for yourself. But here's the truth. Love and respect aren't debts you owe. They're mutual, not one-sided. If someone only gives so they can hold it over you later, It's not kindness, it's control. Finally, we're down to number 10, word salad. Word salad is a tactic narcissists use to create a chaotic mess of contradictions, half-truths, and nonsense to wear you down. You start with a simple question, maybe asking them why they lied or ignored your feelings. But instead of getting a straight answer, you're hit with a flood of unrelated points, vague statements, and sudden topic changes. 1 minute, they're bringing up something irrelevant from the past. The next, they're talking in circles until you can't even remember what the original issue was. As therapist Shahida Arabi puts it, in Becoming the Narcissist's Nightmare, word salad is designed to destabilize you so that you are too emotionally drained to challenge the narcissist's control. The worst part is that they make it seem like you're the problem. If you try to clarify what they mean, they act as if you're too slow to understand or accuse you of twisting their words. Eventually, you're left exhausted, questioning yourself and feeling like you just argued for hours with nothing to show for it. And that's the trap. By the time the conversation ends, you don't even care about getting answers anymore. You just want peace. And that's what they wanted all along. Talking to a narcissist isn't about communication, it's about survival. No matter how calmly you explain yourself, they'll twist your words, play the victim, or turn the conversation into an argument you never meant to have. That's not a discussion. That's a mind game. The best way to win is to stop playing. You don't have to prove your point to someone who only listens to manipulate. Save your energy for people who hear you, because real conversations don't leave you feeling drained, defeated, or doubting yourself.